everybody, and welcome back to another video of recommissioning this 1959 Mercedes Benz 220S chassis W180 Ponton sedan. I believe this is recommissioning video number 12, and this is another segment where we're going to be focusing on the fuel delivery system. I have definitely decided to remove this electric fuel pump from inside the engine compartment because I've concluded this pump was installed as a workaround an improperly functioning mechanical fuel pump, which I have rebuilt. So it should no longer be an issue in terms of hard starting after the car's been sitting for several weeks or longer. That will also allow me to remove all this jury-rigged hose plumbing in here, which looks pretty sloppy and is not correct. Electric fuel pump is now removed. See how much cleaner it looks. There's not much I can do about this right here. There's supposed to be hard lines coming up from down below, but I'm sure those were twisted off and then replaced with these rubber about the same time. And they seem to still be pliable. There's no evidence they were leaking, so I'll probably reuse those. They're already cut to the right length. Here's the wiring harness the mechanic, so-called mechanic who was working on this thing, cut into to find an ignition switch right here, cut into, and I cut this off, and I found another bare wire underneath here. So I will insulate these in such a way that they will not be a problem. Because our next task is from the engine compartment all the way back to here is to blow out the fuel lines from where it would hook into the fuel filter that I have yet to install. So what I'm going to do is lower the car down and then from the engine compartment blow in carburetor cleaner into these lines and then blow them out from the engine compartment back with compressed air. In preparing the fuel filter reserve to main tank valve, again, the hard lines coming in right here are missing, replaced with rubber lines, and then you had these non-standard connections for rubber lines, and so I've had to make some modifications here, and the modification is simply using tape here to take up the 9/16 instead of the 14 millimeter it's supposed to be there. So anyway, it was not leaking before. It shouldn't leak now, especially since it's all been cleaned up on all the surfaces. See how much nicer that looks already? Here's where that aftermarket electric fuel pump was. I've removed it, obviously. I've rerouted these hoses into here. I'm using the non-cheese grater type of clamps. Here's the rebuilt fuel filter, the reserve and main switch valve right here. Before installing it back into the engine, make sure you pack this area in here with grease and clean the grease off this face. Now we're getting ready to install our rebuilt fuel pump. You can see how this is stuffed with grease in here. And I've cleaned off this face right here for where it meets the gasket. I've cleaned off the face down there. Oh yeah, I also cleaned off this block. Paper gasket first, then that spacer in the middle, another paper gasket on top. Of course, you clean all those mating surfaces, push that piston, that rod, back in there against the block, and then we're ready to insert the fuel pump. And also I put some high-tack gasket sealing on there to assist holding everything in place. Okay. There you go, that bolt inserted. Now let's get it kind of started here. Make sure it's going down in there. Then we get the other one going. Okay, it's starting to touch. Now, whoops, push this one in place. Yep, there you go, fell in place. Excellent. All right. Get this out of the way. Time being, I believe it's in the way. Sure, it sure was. Fuel pump's in place. Let's hook up the hose going to the carburetors. Let's see. So I think a little bit of play won't hurt. So. But I don't want it to kink. Something like, I think this will be good. So we'll just go ahead and cut it. All right. Okay, let me just slide this rascal on. And then put our okay. I'll just put the short hose between these two. This looks so much nicer than that rat's nest of hoses that we started off with. And I've re-curled this, which looks nice. All right, so I have to address the ignition wires and everything on this car next. But in the meantime, I'm really pleased with the way this worked out. You can see how this can be with regards to these screws and how this orientation of this pump can switch like that. and you can rotate it either way, so the distance of these screw holes, and how that can make a difference in the way these things orient themselves with regards to their connections, which is really kind of neat. Now this is sitting out where you can get to it very easily, like where it's supposed to be. This actually works right here from the inside of the compartment, so I'm very pleased with this. Okay, thank you for watching Ken's Show and Tell.